Good evening and welcome back to Newsmax TV's continuing coverage of the Republican National Convention, evening number 3 from the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. I'm J.D. HAYWORTH, and we anticipate that the proceedings this evening may continue on until around midnight Eastern Time. Let's take a live look from Convention Hall in Cleveland, and there is Florida Governor Scott Walker addressing the convention tonight. I'm sorry, Rick Scott. Why did I say Scott Walker? He's the Wisconsin governor. Chalk that up to a busy roster of speakers tonight. I will tell you, in addition to Governor Rick Scott addressing the crowd and also Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, we will hear tonight from GOP Vice Presidential nominee Mike Pence, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, and Texas Senator Ted Cruz. To that point, we should tell you that the way I listed those speakers is really in reverse order. We may hear from Senator Cruz in a matter of minutes from the convention hall. We should point out that gavel-to-gavel convention coverage is by and large a relic of broadcast and political history, and dare we say, a casualty of our fast-paced lifestyle. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what occurred last night in 80 seconds.
Together, we've achieved historic results with the largest vote total in the history of the Republican Party. This is a movement, but we have to go all the way.
As a proud son and family member, it was one of the great honors of my life to be able to put him over the top in the delegate count earlier today.
The next time that there's a State of the Union address, I don't know where Joe Biden or Barack Obama are going to be, but you'll find me right there on the rostrum with Vice President Mike Pence and President Donald Trump.
Tonight, as a former federal prosecutor, I welcome the opportunity to hold Hillary Rodham Clinton accountable for her performance and her character.
This is a nation where every coin in our pocket and every bill in our wallet says, "In God we trust." So are we willing to elect someone as president who has as their role model somebody who acknowledges Lucifer?
Now, as a matter of principle, you will have the very best America has to offer. Those who have fought in the front lines should never have to wait in line.
He draws out the talent and drive in people so that they can achieve their full potential. That's a great quality to have in a father, and better yet, in the President of the United States.
Trump there among the speakers last night, and that was your quick 80-second look at last night's proceedings. This quick reminder for you, we will be taking your calls throughout the evening at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Call us up and let us know what you think, your reviews of the Republican National Convention. Now, for more on the proceedings tonight, we're pleased to be joined live from Convention Hall in Cleveland by the former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCaughey, and joining us via Skype, Newsmax TV political analyst and presidential strategist Dick Morris. Dick, of course, the author of the new book, Armageddon, How Trump Can Beat Hillary. And we welcome you both here to our convention coverage. Ladies first, Betsy, you joined us last night from the convention floor. What is the atmosphere there tonight?
Well, tonight is a very different night. Last night was the roll call that put Donald Trump over the top, winning the nomination. Tonight is the night when the pals that competed with Donald Trump for this nomination will be on the stage. Everyone will be listening to hear what Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz say about the nominee. That's one of the big highlights tonight. And of course, the finale will be the speech by Mike Pence at the end of the evening.
Dick Morris, let's talk about that Ted Cruz speech that is anticipated, well, just a short time from now. What do you believe Cruz is going to do? There are a lot of reports that he will stop short of endorsing Mr. Trump's candidacy. Would that be a mistake?
I think he'll probably endorse Trump. I can't be sure. But this speech is not about the election of 2016. This speech is about the election of 2020. When Al Gore addressed the Democratic Convention in 1996, also on a Wednesday night, the first time a VP candidate at that point had Wednesday night to himself. Usually they spoke before the president on Thursday. It was to secure the nomination in 2000. And when Barack Obama spoke in 2004, it had very little to do with John Kerry. It was mainly to be the nominee in 2008. And I think that's what Ted Cruz's campaign is about, to be the nominee in the next election in which Trump is not a candidate.
Well, when you preface it that way, it's okay. I've got to tell you, there's a lot of angst out there, and hearing a lot of talk today that it's as if the also-rans are looking 4 years away as opposed to 8 years away, and there's some blowback with that. But I tell you what, let's hear what's on the minds of the American people as they call us tonight to Port Chester, New York. Elizabeth is first up via telephone. Elizabeth, welcome to Newsmax TV.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. How you doing?
Great, thanks.
And you're Steve?
It's JD and Dick Morris and Betsy McCaughey.
Okay.
Hey.
I just want to say something. Donald Trump has to win. Reason being,
you want Donald Trump to win, and somebody picked up an extension's dialing out on your phone. That's one thing. We don't want them to interrupt your phone calls, Elizabeth. Let's talk about how Republicans view this, Betsy McCaughey. You hear Elizabeth there saying Donald Trump has to win this election. It argues, we've heard talk, that this is a realignment election in American politics. If he is able to win, will we see a realignment? Yes.
We will see a realignment, and coincidentally, this last speaker was calling from New York, a blue state that's in play for the Republican for the first time in many, many years.
And let's talk some about that with Dick Morris. Dick, while there's such an unpleasantness, I'll call it, about Ohio and the fact that John Kasich has not shown up, and just what Ohio means historically in presidential elections to the Republicans, there's a first time for everything. Is it conceivable that a New York, Pennsylvania, Michigan group of electoral votes can make up, let's say, if Ohio is not in the Trump column?
Yeah, I think it certainly is, but I don't think you write off Ohio. I think the point is that we are used to seeing politics on a left to right continuum, a horizontal line, and you take your place along it like a clothesline. The voters don't see it that way anymore. They think there's a circle right in the middle of the establishment, the privileged, the powerful. And then there are their acolytes who surround them. And then there's the outer circle of people who are being screwed by the system. And there's no left or right in a circle. And the Sanders voters buy into this, the Trump voters, and I worked on the Brexit campaign in Britain. The pro-leave forces believed that, and it didn't matter if they were left or right. They still wanted to leave. And what Trump can do is to bring voters into the system who are not left or right. Usually they don't think about politics. They pump gas, they repair cars. They don't think about politics. They couldn't know if they were liberal or conservative. But what they do know is they're outsiders and they're getting shafted.
And to that point, let's take a look last night at what transpired when the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, stepped up. Take a look at the response of the delegates to the Republican convention.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Betsy McCaughey, that was not a rousing round of applause. The majority leader was greeted with boos.
Not a popular guy. That's right, not a popular guy, because Republicans believe that those who are in power in Washington have betrayed them. They didn't succeed in repealing Obamacare. They didn't succeed in controlling spending. They didn't succeed in using the treaty power to turn down that agreement with Iran. They have again and again and again betrayed the Constitution and allowed Barack Obama to exercise too much unconstitutional power.
The other establishment figure last night, Speaker Paul Ryan, we will hear later in this program from the Republican challenging Paul Ryan in Wisconsin 1, Paul Nehlen. But Dick, we take a look at Ryan's numbers in that district, and they have dropped precipitously. Again, pointing out what you were talking about, I guess, the circularization of American politics.
That's right. You know, I think Trump should get up there and he should say, the Clintons hate me, the Bushes hate me, the Romneys hate me, so I must be doing something right.
All right. Well, one right thing we're going to do right now is go back to the phones at 1-877-Newsmax to Dallas, Texas, the Big D for Carol. Carol, welcome to Newsmax TV.
Hello,
Hey, Carol.
how are you?
Great, thanks.
Well, I have one thing to say, and it's about Cruz. I pray to God he gets up there and gives a good speech about rallying all the Republicans and independents together to save this country from Hillary. Not about himself or him losing or any of this little the little words they slip in about, well, I might be running in 2020. If he pulls a stunt like that, I will not vote for him in 2020.
Well, that is saying a lot. You're one of his constituents right there in Texas, Carol, and we appreciate your input. Betsy McCaughey, about a minute left. Carol is offering a cautionary note to Senator Trump, raising what's at stake here tonight. Pardon me, Senator Cruz. Excuse me. Yes.
Absolutely, she is absolutely right. But let's face it, the Trump campaign, has carefully vetted the speeches that are going to be given by Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz tonight. There are not going to be any surprises.
No surprises. What about that, Dick? 30 seconds.
We have to realize that if Hillary Clinton wins, three things happen. First, the number of welfare recipients goes up and the working people go down. Second, more Muslims come into America, so we develop a bigger ISIS problem. And thirdly, 11 million people now illegal vote and outvote us for the future. It's irreversible.
And with that sobering scenario, it underscores what so many conservatives, Republicans, and Trump backers want to see, and that is the defeat of Hillary Clinton, and there will be more about that tonight. Betsy McCaughey from Convention Hall in Cleveland, Dick Morris via Skype. We thank you both for your insights and analysis, and again, we invite you to call us from the comfort of your home or wherever you're watching at 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629. We go back to look again live at Convention Hall, where radio talk show host Laura Ingraham is addressing the convention, and we'll be back with more after this.